Okay. See Twitch dashboard. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks, since the I guess the Ayaka hiatus, Elon.
Oh, yes, only Ayaka.
Only Ayaka.
Forever Ayaka.
Okay, so where's a quiet place in a university?
There's no quiet place in university. Ironically, the library is the loudest place there is.
You just have to
Unfortunately,
go to like 4th floor or something, the highest floor.
well, I'm on the 7th floor.
In
So,
Bay.
yeah, I'm figuring out where I can sit and talk and actually work.
Or you could take up one of the lecture rooms in the basement.
Ooh.
But I think you probably need to like bug a custodian to let you in.
Let's see. I remember. Let's see if like that quiet corner in the 8th floor is still empty. Not a lot of people use that, oddly enough.
8th floor is dangerously close to the suicide hallway.
What hallway?
He's currently in a building that's known for suicides
Oh yeah,
on
yeah,
campus. Because he has a spiral staircase that goes all the way up and is all the way straight down.
yeah. There's no walls, so
They
it's
put up a bunch of dividers when the tragedies first started, and then they stopped giving a shit.
yeah. I mean,
It
they
sounds
had
like those classes are pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had a security guard for a week, but that's about it.
Ugh.
Like, what are they gonna say? Don't do it. I will lose my job. Like that.
Mm.
Like
Either way, it doesn't set
anyway.
a good precedence, that's for sure.
Anyway, let's see. Let's see if there's still some seats on the 4th floor.
I wonder how many people at UFT plays Genshin. Do we have a Genshin club, or is it just like a subculture of like the anime club?
I doubt you haven't a dedicated Genshin club. We probably have. Yeah, it's probably more like a subgroup within some like anime club or something.
There's a Discord server for UFT Genshin players.
That is funny. That is cute in a lot of ways.
Well, yo, let me wait. How is it? Why is the UFT Discord server so fucking toxic? Classic.
Plastics.
I love how on the Reddit people say, "Oh yeah, there's a UFT Genshin Discord server too," but like, there's no one shares the invite or anything.
That's very classic. Okay. I think I found a lot of the 3rd floor is pretty empty. I can see that. Like I gotta also do a lot of experiments now. The deadline is coming up. Actually, yeah, unfortunately. And I don't want to disturb those in the same lab.
Well, your attendance here isn't mandatory either.
Oh,
If you're like super busy, you don't have to like force yourself to be here.
it's more like I can kind of talk and do the thing and like do my work, but it's more like I don't want to be a bother to others in the lab.
Fair enough. Yeah, university is a weird place to be. It's like half the people are working, but other half people are obviously not working.
Yeah. And this view is good. Okay, I found a spot.
So this Abyss doesn't seem
Mm.
like much changed.
It's pretty easy.
Almost feel like you need to like shoehorn in the Elon just because to inject some sort of how do I say je ne sais quoi.
No, she's holds her own. Unlike all the other recent characters, she's actually good.
Apparently, Elon has revived Yanfei.
Really? I guess that's
Yeah,
possible. Yeah.
apparently her vape windows can sync up relatively well.
Interesting.
Because the issue is that you can't do Xingqiu Yilan because sorry, Xingqiu Yanfei because Yanfei's all charge attacks, right?
Mhm.
And Xingqiu works off of normal, but with Yilan, there's enough hydro application, ironically, to get that thing to work.
Interesting.
Or so I thought. This is some hot take by some Yanfei one trick, which I didn't think existed in the world.
I mean, consider the population. There are all sorts of wrong people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The probability of big numbers indicate that there's at least one person that can be diametrically wrong. Either way. So Genshin Optimizer, there hasn't really been much changes since the last stream either, eh?
Yeah.
No changes at all.
No changes at all. Nothing that people will get angry at or like, bash me on Twitter about. Oh, there's just only one guy who complained on Twitter. I'm not saying there's like a big community of haters. We're not a big group.
It certainly has brought out some opinions.
Mm-hmm. You also brought up a ton of people who don't understand how like Genshin works.
Yeah.
I think someone needs to change the stream title and category.
Ah,
Oh
someone.
fuck! Yeah, I guess it's GTFO. I thought there was something wrong here.
Oh well.
Uh, I just woke up from like a 17-minute nap, so I'm like completely awake. Now, who changed this?
Wow. Okay,
Okay.
depth analysis. Cool.
There we go. Now everything here. I mean, there's Amber Mains. Well, Amber Mains are kind of weird because they've been here since like the pinnacle of Genshin, right? So like they're here not as, how do I say, they exist as something that's both necessary but also unnecessary, like a historical building that's only being propped up because it's a historical site and not because of its any use to the city or its landscape. Maybe that's a hot take, but then again,
There seems to be less Amber mains these days. I think they might have moved on.
yeah. Well, I think that the whole concept behind Minx is fundamentally flawed because like this is a team-based gacha game, so like you can't there's no like real self-sufficient characters. There might be like it might be against the design of the game to play only a single character. Oh yeah, Organize a real big Amber main. I don't quite understand him. I don't know if he's actually an Amber main or is he someone who just memes that he's an Amber main. At this point, can you be an Amber main ironically?
That is a direction of question I have never seen in a long while.
Mm-hmm. Decisions of inquiry, I guess.
Yes.
Either way, let's go back to the topic. Yeah, so yeah, the biggest change the set filters. I think it was received uh it was received.
Yeah, it certainly was. Whether they
Yes,
liked it or
yes.
not.
I there's quite a it's not easy to summarize a feature like this into like one or two character words. It really is quite nuanced. Fundamentally, the design is basically I just want to get rid of the two set filter. I think it's something that people have been using that goes against the aspect of the optimizer.
I mean, looking at the request to add them back in a lot of cases is quite illuminating.
It's illuminating only in the sense that people have been using the two set filter as more of a crutch and
Yeah,
more of just basically they don't know what they're doing.
yeah. It's like yeah, it's one thing to use it with an unintentional effect, like to use it in a way that we did not intend, but it kind of makes sense and it's all good and like yeah, that kind is kind of worth keeping. But there's also the kind of the set filter is being faced with,
Yeah.
to put it nicely.
Yeah, so specifically, I think we just need to narrow down this point of discussion. The specifically forcing a two set, I think, is fundamentally wrong in the optimizer. And if you know, if I could turn back time, I would have probably never added it in the first place.
It was a necessary evil for
For a long time, yes.
yes.
I think back in the day when we were doing brute force, we're talking about like brute force without any optimization in the optimizer.
Yeah,
Before pruning, before any of our advanced concept, it was kind of a necessary evil for you to just decrease the search size. But
yeah.
now it's kind of a relic of the past. And for I guess a person who don't quite understand what it takes to build a character, but is still using the optimizer, we need to design the tool in a way that people can't get misled and can't get misused. And for someone to set a force a two set, which in Genshin at least is just kind of raw basic stats, which is something that the optimizer can very easily account for. Seems to be something that just goes against the engine.
I think you got to change people's thinking because it's quite common for guide makers and YouTubers and all that to suggest a certain set, and so people are always gravitating towards I want 4-piece noblesse or I want 4-piece tenacity, and they want to then get the optimizer to give them the best version of that, and that's what they're coming at. But if you can guide them in such a way that the optimizer will suggest that if you provide it the right conditionals and the right optimization target for that to actually be the best. And that will be the reason why that YouTuber or that guide maker is actually suggesting that set.
Okay, so well, you kind of just open up a bigger can of worms than the one that I was trying to reside in, going to force set effects. I think fundamentally, I agree that people should be able to pick and choose their force sets simply because there's quite a lot of conditionals and effects that optimizer can't account for when you optimizing for two set for a four set. For example, when you want to use the noblesse effect to buff a party, yeah, you definitely want to force a four set in that aspect, especially if you're optimizing for support.
Mm.
And that we're with the set filter, we're trying to make that easier. But say if there's a larger number of four sets that you want, you could account for all of them now instead of instead of having to, I guess, optimize and build multiple times. So that's that's probably a better part of the system, or something where the force set is a strict negative. In some cases, like the Shimanoa force set. In that case, being able to exclude them is a very good idea. So in terms of the fundamental design, I think that the set filter is a pure upgrade in the sense that it does more than what we wanted, and it removes the misleading, I guess, the how do we say, the bottom rung of the ladder that people keep skipping over.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to basically force a force set in the current system because you just exclude everything else. But there are the times where the guide makers will be suggesting a 2+2 piece, but there's a reason they're suggesting that, and people need to understand how to achieve that in the optimizer by setting the
Well,
right conditionals.
fundamentally, when a guide writer writes a 2x2 piece, 2x2 is really just basically saying these sets offer these two stats that are beneficial to the character.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you just basically don't restrict these sets at all, if you have a good combination of artifact with good substats and on the onset bonus that provides this, the optimizer will pick it for you. So it's foolhardy for the user to pick it themselves,
Yeah,
because
that's the
that
case.
effectively cripples the search size of the optimizer, which might gives you a less optimal build.
Yeah, there's some really strange edge cases where people just want a character to hold artifacts for the sake of it, but
Yeah, but
that's
then
not really the
you wouldn't
purpose of
use
the
the optimizer
optimizer.
for this, right?
Yeah.
You just equip it to your character then at that point. Or like people who say, "Oh, I want a 2-piece, so eventually I could farm the full 4-piece." But then, like, you know, then you're mm, like cases like that is something that's just, I don't, okay, just use the word copium, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah,
Mm.
it's a non-optimal way of doing it, but in their case, for whatever reason it may be, they want that character to hold that 2-piece, for whatever copium reason they might have, but they still want the optimizer to tell them the optimal combination of holding that 2-piece.
Okay. This is probably a sign that I should trash more artifacts. Seems like I can't choose 2-piece sets. Number of builds grows exponentially, takes forever to compute. Right, so this goes from the design aspect of the set filter into the implementation side. And this is where the kind of I guess this is where the ground gets muddy, because the implementation side for these filters are, how do I say it? It's not smooth swimmings, to say the least. So if you have I guess a relatively complicated set filter, the the I guess the initial system in which the optimizer construct these builds are greatly limited, which makes the build time actually a lot higher. So a lot of the cases, even with a more restricted set filter, it could actually result in a higher, or I guess a faster build time, if you just unrestrict everything, which is kind of weird, because you would think that if you unrestrict everything, there would be like exponentially more builds, but our build is actually extremely fast. So this is something that the user will kind of have to play around, and it's something that's kind of a caveat to the system that we can't really account for. Um, whether whether um, whether the build time gets deterministically or arbitrarily long or not, if you think the build time is taking too long, there are always things you can do to the system to decrease the build time. A lot of the other mechanism hasn't changed at all. Restricting the main stats will be one of them. Um, Restricting the level of the artifact, or excluding like really low low or really copium artifacts. All of these can decrease the build time. Decreasing the number of results exponentially decreases the build time as well. So if you only want like the best build, just make it so that the optimizer returns the only one build, and that will be pretty much 10. That will be 10 times faster than like, but that would be almost like 100 times faster than. Okay, I can't use these numbers like this because in actuality a lot of these build parameters aren't very deterministic at all. But if you only want one build, just set it to return only one build, and you'll be significantly faster. Oh, stream lag.
Is there?
Yeah. Like the thing about exclusion is that it makes a search space actually much harder to navigate because most of the time a lot of optimization relies on the fact that you can swap out your artifact in the current slot and swap it in with another artifact easily, and you will remain it remains a valid build whether or not it is optimal. But with things like a rainbow, it is no longer possible to know that. Like you need to it is like you need to finish it until the end all the way through to figure out whether or not the build is even valid to begin with. So
Yep.
it's very, very hard to optimize for that. And yeah, unfortunately.
It's
So
not pretty.
yeah, it's very not pretty. And a lot of tricks just went out, just go away when the exclusion is involved.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another thing that's why I was very hesitant over this new set filter system. In terms of design and I guess the intentions, it all makes sense. But in terms of implementation, there's quite a lot of design decisions that we're going against. A lot of the design assumptions that are broken, which makes the system ironically unoptimal. But
Like
I still firmly believe that this is still the right way to go. So this is why we released it like this. Unfortunately, sometimes the filters can be configured in a way that takes somehow longer than unfiltered build session, and that's unfortunately the consequence of something like this.
yeah, like forced exclusion is kind of fine because if you only exclude the force set, the thing is still relatively nice. The search space is still relatively nice, the same with in the same manner that I mentioned. But like when you exclude a two set, it is pretty much the same problem with when you exclude the rainbow. So those two are pretty bad for performance.
Hmm.
Just something to keep in mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I think my latest quote unquote optimization makes things lower. Oh, so oops.
Well, that's the issue with the system. Like there's so many like little knobs and stuff to tweak that
Yeah, I mean
if
I
you
can
adjust one knob, some other results might get faster or slower, and it's incredibly hard to optimize the optimizer because of there's just so many different aspects and paths that it goes down.
yeah, and in my defense, I claim it is faster on my machine in my test case. So hey.
Yeah, that's the other issue. Is like when you start tweaking knobs, usually your verification case is only a very small subset of the actual use case.
Yeah. Like I can probably get like I don't know, 10 more data set and like try them all, but I'm like, you know how long this thing takes to
Mhm.
run this? Like you probably do, right? Like if
One
like
thing we could do, is to like actually gather metrics on this. I'm not sure how like what the most scientific way of doing it is, but we should leverage some of like the Google Analytics API and basically try to gather less about like how many people use the optimizer, but more on how people use the optimizer itself. Like what's the most popular character people would optimize for. I guess the general build time for each character, so we could at least try to isolate which character is on average the slowest build. and stuff like that. Currently for the Google Analytics, all we do is just basically say if people go on the website, increase counter or something. So a lot of the stuff that we already have a system for is relatively underutilized, and it'd be nice to kind of aggregate this data and see what we could do with it. Which is, I don't know, who raise your hand if you're interested in Google Analytics. Actually, I don't think any of you guys have access to the Google Analytics simply because this. So I guess, damn, I guess my hand is raised now. Fuck.
Well,
that's your job then. Assign that one to you.
Yeah. Among the other million jobs that I have. Well, talk about current jobs. So I've been trying to get the multi-target to work again for like the 9th time.
poor guy.
So I've done the new editors for the multi-target, which is all right. Now I just need to hook it up to the database and then hook it up to WaveWriter. Get WaveWriter to output. Well, basically I'm on step 1 out of 7 or something like that.
Oh,
It's a long road ahead.
Yeah, might be easier to get that kind of data out of your testing harness, your CI tool.
well.
Well, we don't really have any of those, and running a test harness or CI tool is actually more difficult than you would think. We do have a bit of testing with it, but it's not. It doesn't represent the actual runtime of the website at all. And I don't quite think it's a good idea to have a harness for the optimizer, at least in a way to get optimization metrics. Testing for correctness though is something that we I think we have up to a certain point.
Yeah, at some point that those tests just got poof. We haven't fixed it since then.
Oh, those ones. Well, those ones are not optimization. Those
Uh,
ones are not like optimizer builder tests.
oh, you mean those?
They're just character verification stuff. But like since the MiHoYo doesn't update their characters at all, it really doesn't make sense for us to update those tests.
Yeah, good for us.
It's
Easy.
good that MiHoYo literally doesn't care about any of the previously released characters.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
don't know the implementation detail. Any categorization of artifact to speed up the build generation, or would the overhead be large and then possible speed improvement? I don't know what you mean by the categorization of artifacts. I'm assuming you're trying to suggest some sort of bucketing with the optimizer. I guess we technically do bucketing if you misconstrue the pruning, basically saying whether artifact is strictly inferior or not. But that's just basically eliminates search space and not really bucketing the runtime at all. Don't think it's possible to do that.
Wait. What does the entire thing mean? I kind of phased out. Sorry.
You did phase
Like
out, and that's kind of a question directed to you at this point, since you're like the main
like
builder maintenance guy.
yeah, it's more like I don't quite understand. Like, what do they mean by bucketing at all?
Well, no, I'm interpreting their question as bucketing, but I think here, let me send this to you, and you can answer accordingly.
Any categorization of artifacts. Do we categorize artifact to speed up the optimization? I guess it
Nope.
depends on the way categorization means. Like, because as you said earlier, we do some sort of pruning to say if it's strictly superior to any of the other artifacts, we just remove them. So that is also the reason why if you have more builds requirement, it will have less pruning, because then it needs to be on the 11th one, right, to be removed, those kind of things. But other than that, the categorization, at best, we just put things in the same set, artifact set, because those are the one that is usually annoying, because even if this that is inferior, if it's come from the better artifact set, it might reverse the comparison kind of thing. But other than that, we don't do anything more advanced than that. Mostly because it is very finicky. Like, okay, fine. What if your artifact set adds to the total attack? Then it may have some relationship to your normal attack substats, those kind of thing. We can kind of do something like that, but it is very hard to reason with, and it is very prone to performance pitfall. Like, if you do the categorization, is it really for the better? Do you actually prune more, or do you actually prune less? So it and it's also very hard to it is also harder to verify the correctness, right? Because as is, we don't have a lot of test case to verify that every pruning is correct. We do have some. It is a little bare bone, but much of it is just like I look at the code and I say, yeah,
That works.
and
Yeah, that
yeah,
looks
that
like
works.
that works.
Yeah, so like I don't want to do anything that might be more complicated, might not necessarily speed things up, and might be incorrect or be hard to verify, unfortunately. So that's why so categorize artifact by artifact set is probably the most that we would be doing for a long while. Yeah.
Fundamentally, the issue is like a lot of the builder code is like what we call hot code. And the more complex you make some sort of determination, doesn't necessarily mean it makes the build go around faster. Sometimes determining specific metrics takes as much time as just running through all the builds.
Yeah. Is
And
it
then once you're going down that path, you're basically having to maintain a more complicated code to ensure for maximum correctness, and then it doesn't provide you any performance benefit.
Yeah, that's the thing about hot code. It's like you're trying to save 1 second on code that run 1,000 times by costing it half a second on a code that run 1,000,000 times. It's not worth it, right? So yeah, that's kind of thing that is something that you need to take into consideration. That yep, we are literally doing 20 numerical like plus minus thing 20 per artifact build. In what way can you beat that? Like, and how much does that cost,
Yeah.
right?
I think there's a general misconception. I think I kind of understand the question you're asking. There's a misconception here that you think that our builder is basically a giant permutation generator that generates like valid 5 set artifacts, and then we calculate them. It might be like that in the old days, but it has certainly evolved over the last year to be something more like a, I guess, what is it called, bound and branch. Well, okay, not necessarily, but rather it just basically it starts with like one artifact, and then you keep swapping in and out artifacts until you get to the full combinational space. So in that case, the set filters completely conflict with it. It might be easier if we were to go back to the previous model where we just generate all the combination of builds, and then remove the generated builds according to the set filter, and then calculate all of them. But then a lot of our other optimization will be completely broken as well. So it's kind of a the set filter based on design isn't ill advised, but the set filter based on implementation goes against a lot of our design choices that we made before.
Yeah.
And that's probably as far as I can say.
Yeah, just to be a little on the pedantry here, that yeah, when you say like swap artifacts in and on in beginning, much of it is like for the pruning for the pruning mechanism, because Yeah, we have a almost complete set. If we swap it, swap out, does it work? Does it get better? Does it always get better? Kind of thing. And because in the end of the day, we still need to iterate through all the builds that have survived to see if any of them is the actual optimum, or to find the actual optimum of those sets. So we still have still the hottest code is still the one that get a build, get a number, quick, get a build, get a number, get a build, get a number. So
Wait, yeah, you just finished the entire Abyss in 35 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stream's over. Pack it up.
Oh shit. Well, I guess stream is over.
what happened?
Our Abyss is done.
Yeah, there was no
There
suffering this
was no
time.
suffering. Oh
All
no.
right, peace,
Goodness.
guys.
See you in 2 weeks.
Did you claim the Primos? Because if you don't claim the Primos, chances are I won't claim the Primos.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't claim the primos.
You should claim the I think we did this one time where you did my Abyss and then I just thought so you claimed the Primos and we never claimed the Primos.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Well,
let's just claim
Genshin,
the primos.
Genshin should just like mail that stuff to you if you miss claiming it.
E-
Because
Even
like,
if you mail it, you still need. If they mail it to you, you still need to claim it.
yeah. By the way, did I finish the event in time? Is it the one where you have to go down the chasm and do like battle arena? I did finish that in time. I finished with like 7 hours to spare or something.
Well, there's the
I
rhythm
just
game now. It's coming to an end. You'll have to do.
that's coming to an end. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Muddy Bizarre Adventure or the Almighty Glory Drum Along Festival. I'm assuming it's this one.
The drum along, yeah. The muddy adventure thing is still going. It hasn't unlocked completely.
Oh, okay. Well, they both end in 9 days, which means that it gives me 8 days to procrastinate.
Oh no. Well, so do you want to see one Ito?
Bloody hell! I do not want to see one you two.
Actually,
And
how dangerous is it?
from
Oh,
from the hmm?
it's not dangerous unless you get super lucky or unlucky.
Well, there's no one on this banner that I want. That's the issue.
What do you don't want to hook? You don't want a cookie.
I honestly don't want a cookie. I think in terms of character design, cookie is nice. In terms of actual character mechanic, they kind of want Resident Sleeper.
Give that man a cookie.
Yeah, let's get him a cookie. I'm in control.
I mean, if you want to at this point.
It's going to be a Chongyun
you-
because everyone's been getting Chongyun.
Yeah. But also, if you get another Edo, I think that's grounds for like extermination. There's no pressure.
Oh, there's the Chongyun. Cool.
Dang.
Yes. Okay.
Role consolidation kits are boring. This one doesn't even seem useful in the current game state. No, it doesn't. I think Cookie's trying to fit a cookie cutter rule where there's the distinct lack of an electro healer, but like other than that, very underwhelming.
The problem is that
Again,
all the other healers in the game do something else that make them good, and unfortunately, Cookie doesn't do that.
yeah,
Maybe she
I
will in
think
the
that
future, but
I don't I currently I don't see her being better than any of the other existing healers in the game. And healers are kind of a weird class in Genshin because like
Quad false.
you know why have a healer when you have guys that have shields that you can't destroy or like
yeah.
mm, I just don't see it, I guess. Ooh, R5 stringless. My fisher will be happy.
And that's the only good thing that happened out of that summon session.
Dang, not even any dopamine. why have a healer? Because Bennett happens to be one. Well, I don't think I think okay, this is a bit of a hot take, but I think it's also a correct take. If Bennett's ult doesn't heal, I think people will still use him as often, and I think if like Bennett isn't a healer, people will still use Bennett.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Whereas I guess who's a pure healer? If I mean if Barbara doesn't heal, then she's just a very terrible hydro applicator with no scaling. If Sayu doesn't heal, people will still not use Sayu.
I don't think
So there's
anyone
no
uses
difference.
Sei for the heal. They just use it at getting into domains faster.
Exactly. I think Sayu's throw potential has been greatly yeah, I think it's hit or miss. Let's see who else heals in this game. Sincho heals for this game because of course he does.
Did I save workspace?
Sayu is my favorite character I never use. I think that's exactly my point. Who else heals in this game? I guess shit, what's the cat character called again? Diona?
Just to see.
Diona
Yeah.
heals, but only in the sense that okay, so what would Diona be without heal? She would still be kind of a shield cryo resonance bot. With I guess a bit of EM boosting. Alright, Kokomi, I forgot about that. Kokomi heals. But do you really use Kokomi as a healer?
Just to see.
Yeah. I mean, Kokomi, I suppose, is used mainly as a driver in taser teams, but the healing is a big part of that.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, Noelle, another healer.
Okay,
But that's
Noelle's a
more for
weird one.
self-sustain, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't think Noelle is fundamentally a good healer because she needs to be like actually active on field to heal. And if you Noelle isn't a DPS Noelle and it's taking up so much time on field, you might as well just not be doing damage at all.
And there's Chi-Chi and Jean.
Well, Chi-Chi and Jean is kind of like if you play the game long enough, you're gonna get either one of the two.
And what is it, C6 Zhongli? Is that the healer constellation?
Jeez, I don't know, but if you have a C6 Zhongli and if you have a Zhongli in general, you don't deserve a healer.
Yeah, so yeah, C6. When the shield takes damage, you get healed.
Well, kind of exceed 8% of that character's max HP, but like fundamentally, this C6 is kind of underwhelming.
Who's this scrub trying to join the world?
Don't know. The black sword that every sword user is a healer? Yes and no. I think fundamentally the black sword is only appealing as a kind of a overall increase in damage. If black sword it has like I don't know ER or something, then I don't think anyone will ever use the black sword. Remember when Amber Yenfei was gaining traction? Oh, prototype Amber. Hmm.
I guess
I have
Prototype
nothing
Amber
to
was
speak to
really only
that.
gaining traction when before Kokomi was around. They were putting it on like Mona or Lisa or whatever to get some healing in taser teams or freeze
Yeah,
teams.
I think prototype Amber's healing is kind of cope. Like you would never. Prototype Amber is only used because you don't have a better catalyst. Because that's what a HP scaling catalyst. And
Okay, that's what I need.
in terms of Catalyst users, who really scale off of HP other than Kokomi?
And Barbara.
I guess Barbara, yeah. But Barbara, that's always has been delegated to TTDS for since inauguration.
And there's C4 Yunfei who gets a shield based on HP.
Yeah. But like, I mean, if you play HP, yeah, you might as well just say that like. Okay, actually, that's a bit of a hot take. I'm just gonna stop that line of thought right there. Can't let these takes be too hot.
Oh, well, it's a hot day as is.
Yeah.
C2
Prototype Ember is only used. We need a healer but don't have one. Everyone else uses TTDS. I think that was my point exactly.
C2
What exactly are you doing, Lancho?
just some data crunching.
Man's working while on the podcast.
Classic, eh?
Classic.
I mean, on a tangent.
Well,
People,
no, I think fundamentally it's a good time for you to be working because if you weren't actively participating in a podcast, you'd be actively playing a game that prohibits you from actually working.
that sounds so true, and I am so angry.
At this point, I think it's something that we just have to fundamentally work with.
Getting called out.
Uh, Attention span is such a commodity. The present world. I mean, like I haven't like I say I'm working on like multi-target, but I've only really worked on it for like 2 days over the like last 2 weeks. My attention span is getting used otherwise.
Well, that's more than last time I remember. So
So
there you
every
go.
time we see in your Discord status that you're playing Visual Basic Studio, it's not actually true.
It's a lot of the time it's just I just have it open in the background, and then occasionally when I'm in a loading screen or when I'm waiting for people to join a dungeon, I just go in, edit a few lines.
Like, I'm working.
I'm working. Or I might be working on the KQM prototype thing, or just I don't know.
ATM prototype. What prototype?
They're trying to redesign the website, and I kind of got interested because I'm trying to redesign the homepage. So I'm trying to just basically like I did a few prototyping for it just so I could get some like ideas on what we could do for the homepage. Because apparently no one uses the homepage, which makes it really bad because remember back in the day when we put important information that people need to read on the homepage?
Right.
Which kind of defeats the purpose when people don't read the homepage.
Right.
So like I want to basically redesign the homepage to be more dashboardy, more interactive. As a landing page, people should be able to use it as like a quick way into their optimization stream or something. So there's some ideas bouncing around for that.
Hopefully, people will actually read it this time.
Well, basically, we want to reduce the things people read. No more paragraphs, maybe one or two sentences at best.
Too much. I give you 3 words.
Yeah.
Three
Any more than
words.
3
Yeah.
words are just shut off.
It's basically as much hieroglyphs as possible.
Except if you go that way, you get people complaining about losing the main stat descriptions and what's this symbol mean? I don't know what that means.
This is a simple me, even though Genshin uses it and it's used everywhere else on the website. Are you saying my readme is too long? I don't think anyone's read my readme. I put some very glaring spelling mistakes in there when I first started the project, and no one's complained about it until like a year and a half after.
You're just saying that to make up for the fact that you've made spelling mistakes. They weren't deliberate.
Maybe. Well, no. A lot of the less glaring ones were not deliberate. That was just me being bad at English. But the really bad one, like there's one where I repeated one of the word deliberately, because you know how like
Mm.
I don't know if you ever see this in like your Facebook feed or something, where someone would just put a sentence in an infographic, and then you would just have a repeated the in the middle. And then they'll be like, did you realize the word the is repeated in there?" You're like, "Oh, I've never noticed because I just read through the sentence without reading each letter or word." I don't know. I thought it was funny. Okay, there's very little things you could do to make a website hee hee ha ha.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that happens the same with a map in the old days, right? Like people actually write it like, okay, I found a dragon. If after I go east for like 100 kilometer, what are you gonna do? Prove me wrong? Those kind of thing,
Oh,
right? Because like in the old days, like people don't travel as much, and people who do are the ones who actually make the map. So like whatever you make up, people are gonna believe it. Like if you
well,
say you find an alien that direction in that region, like they probably believe it. And that's
that's
what I
very interesting though, because quite a lot of geographic locations on maps are actually created because of a pseudo form of copyright. A lot of map makers would just put, I guess, locations on the map that don't exist with their own randomly generated, well, their own personal unique name. So if anyone copies their map, they could use that location as a way to verify whether someone has plagiarized their maps or not. However, sometimes those locations become like actual towns or settlements, and those names actually gets used.
yeah. Yeah, I remember those. Some of them are quite notorious, especially like there's a debate whether or not those can be copyrighted
Hmm.
because at some point it turns into the truth, as you have said,
Yeah.
which is not copyrightable normally.
Well, if you run consistently enough, it becomes the truth. That's, I think, the point here.
Yeah.
A huge
So
portion of another
continue to use
project.
the in your document.
A huge portion of another project I was messing around with was written by a dyslexic person. First time I found a misspelled variable name, I fixed it. After that, I stopped bothering. Damn, that hit a bit too close to home.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, the amount of set x, set y, but the thing after t is lowercase is infuriating. But
Hmm.
at some point, I just stopped looking at it.
I mean, we spend a non-trivial amount of our time discussing variable naming and like variable casing for a long time.
Oh well.
So it's understandable. This is, just that's another part. Like even if you're like not a dyslexic programmer, it's still a big part of naming variables other than like random single letters, things that doesn't represent what it actually means. That's really difficult.
Oh
Just
yeah.
think if you have like 100 children that you don't care about. Soon enough, you're just basically gonna pick random pages from the dictionary to name them.
Pretty good
Oh
runs
well.
from this artifact strongbox, isn't it? Two double
Report
crits in
staying
a row.
hacking. Yeah.
Yeah. On the topic of what I'm working on, like there's a just a little tangent that if you are kind of like into programming and those kind of thing, learn many languages. It really helps because like okay, I want data, I'm gonna use R because it works much easier than Python for the most part.
My argument would be that you just need to get good at like 2 or 3 languages, and the rest can be relatively easy to pick up on.
True that. Because like
I think it's I don't think it's a good idea to know too many languages, because like I'm getting to that point because like at work we write like 4 different languages, And then it's getting to a point where like finding the length of an array is something that I just always Google because like it's different in Java, it's different in Python, it's different in C++, it's different in C sharp. And it's just like is it dot size, dot length bracket? Like which one is it?
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
and
it's just
it depends.
terrible.
Like, what I'm trying to say is like, okay, the language should be at least more distinct in a way, because like if you
No,
work on a
my
component,
argument is that languages should be less distinct. I think languages with common conventions should all just be the same.
no. I mean, like, okay, fine. If you want to find a length of the array, yeah, every language should look the same. But I mean, that is not a strength of like of language of R versus Rust versus like C, if you will. I think because like you do different things with them, not like you do the same thing and figure out how to do them differently. It's not that kind of thing.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just dragging your tangent onto another tangent here.
Oh, it is what it is.
We
Just
just
to
gotta
interrupt
hijack each
quickly,
other's.
do you want me to start this drum along quest so you can go straight into the rhythm game when you want to get the time?
Well, is this the quest worth listening to? I'm assuming I'm assuming there's like some sort of contrivedly long story quest before you can unlock the actual interactable part of the event.
It's not crazy long, but it's an annoyance if you just want to play the rhythm game.
No, I think I'll go to the quest honestly.
Okay.
I think a large majority of MiHoYo's world building has been delegated to these events. And I feel like if I don't motivate myself at least to get these events, I won't actually understand a lot of the context with a lot of the characters.
Mm. So let's see. Okay.
I think the Elo's character design is kind of bad because of noodle arms, but it makes sense
Mm.
because they want to basically reuse a lot of the same character rigging as like skinnier characters. So I'll give him a pass. I think Ito as an actual like interactable character in Genshin is actually not too bad. I think he fits a very general archetype of like the lovable buffoon, but I think there's still a bit of depth in his character that like he doesn't seem as shallow as some of the other single archetype characters.
Yeah, as a character, Ito is fun. He fits the game well.
Yeah.
But design wise, he's a lot better in the 2D art.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of characters are better designed than 2DR. Let's not even talk about like Albedo's hair or some shit like that. Let's just, I,
Mm.
I think, how do I say? I think a lot of the like the legacy characters, and I think MiHoYo tried to address it with a more, I guess, tame skin variant for the previously more exposed characters. But I think they could have done a lot more.
Yeah.
Surprised how much I like his story, considering how much I dislike his model. I think that was exactly my point. Thank you for agreeing with me. Thank you for participating in the echo chamber of hot take and opinions.
Mhm.
Are you talking about the workaholic, or the workaholic? I hate this fucking archetype. I fucking hate this archetype. I I I absolutely despise this archetype. I understand if there's one workaholic. Okay, Jean's a workaholic. Makes sense. She works until her body crashes, and then it's just like I do it for the people, but you need to take care of yourself. Okay, and then you got to Leray. You get into like a secretary that overworks. You're like, okay, we kind of seen this before, but hey, at least you're like you're half a god. So like, and then you have some sort of body dysmorphia issue. So maybe there's a bit more depth. Wait, what is this cute cat girl looking? Oh wait, you're a workaholic. Do you have anything else going for you? No, nothing. Okay, boring. Ugh, like, come on. Let's
Interesting
not.
news of yes, what are you guys talking about?
Oh, I'm just spewing out my unwarranted opinion on how terribly shallow MiHoYo's character design have been.
Hmm.
Hitting too close to home since you're working at work, then come home, work on Optimizer, work on KQM
Oh,
stuff.
wait a minute. Do I despise workaholic because I'm a workaholic? Holy shit. Holy shit.
Oh no.
Subconscious expose.
Okay.
No, I think it's worse for me because like I use the work as more of a coping mechanism, which is probably actually a even worse thing.
I'm not sure if that character trial was for Goro or for Noel.
I don't know. I think that was
Hmm.
for Noel, honestly.
Yes.
Did we
Oh yeah.
did
Also,
I do my like the last iteration of like the Elon character trials? Because I certainly didn't do it.
I might have done it. I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
no. The unsubscribed amount of Primo gems had either been lost or miscounted for.
I might. If I did, I probably only did Yolan just to get those 20 primos. I wouldn't have done the others.
Mhm. It's my my Walking Moon probably expired like 3 months ago, eh?
Ah,
Wait, how do you tell how many Welcome Moons you have left?
yeah, it's expired. I haven't checked when it expired. The $8 Australian rip-off.
It's $8 Canadian as well.
Yeah, we're pretty close in
Oh
currency
no, it's
conversion.
$7. It's $7 Canadian. Wait, yes. So $1 Canadian is 1.12 Australian dollar. Hmm.
Oh, it's changed a little bit recently.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. Like I think like if you're going to like at least well let's not even say dolphin gut but like goatfish this game. I think Welcome Moon is still probably like the best
worth
Oh, for
money.
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Slow thing is more cost efficient.
Oh.
That's why like they can bet up those who cannot wait, right?
Yeah. That's why I prefaced my argument was if you're determined or I guess if somehow your Genshin rolls are tax deductible in some way.
Imagine that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Imagine that.
Last time I also said it, but with just you guys, right? But GPU doesn't really work.
Oh God. I
Just
guess it's
It
saying.
should be
fun.
100
It's
times
finally
faster,
good that
shouldn't it?
it's finally
Hmm.
good that we have an answer that could just shut people up.
They're not
Thank
going to
God.
believe it, though.
They're not gonna believe you. They're gonna continue to have hot take. Oh, it's GPU. It's gonna be 100% faster. Look, people use GPU to mine bitcoins. But like, fucking hell.
Oh dear.
Look, 300
I
Genesis
mean,
crystals.
they
Who's
don't
this
mind
whale?
Bitcoin on. They don't mind Bitcoin on Google on Chrome. You see.
Either way,
Either
GPU
way,
is doomed. GPU optimizer is doomer.
rep.
I think we kind of half expected this result, honestly.
Well, pretty much.
That's a shame because Genshin certainly isn't taxing my video card. Hoping for something to do that.
That'd be fun. That'd be pretty funny, actually. Because I know, like if we use up all the thread for optimizer, it will kind of like lag your game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's
So it'd be nice
interesting.
to use an underutilized resource.
Yeah.
All these people with 3090s or something playing Genshin, locked at 60 frames a second.
Yeah, it cannot go higher. It will burn your PC.
Well, the issue, I think the fundamental issue with GPUs, I think it would be faster only if it wasn't for the fact that we're doing it through like a weird hacky website API.
Yeah. I mean, it's sitting on top of JavaScript, on top of web browser, on top of OS, on top of like, there are so many hoops that it would slow it down. Like in
Yes,
all
it's like a
seriousness,
sandboxing a sandbox sort of thing.
yeah, it's unfortunately, but there aren't that many ways. Well, there are some ways to speed it up, but it's totally out of the scope for out of the feasibility of the website that we are
Mhm.
renting.
Yeah. I mean, the GPU is still slightly faster, but it doesn't justify us spending like the ridiculous amount of like developer time required to maintain it.
Oh yeah, did I mention it only works on Chrome?
Oh yeah, it also only works on Chrome.
All those people on Safari, for them.
You know,
You know,
right?
I need to install Chrome to run that, to develop that. God damn.
Well, you should be using Chrome anyways, because who the hell uses Safari? Disgusting Apple limited disgusting.
Man,
Like
man,
you would
man,
not
man,
believe
man.
a lot of our like developer pains for having to make the website be compatible with Safari.
I mean, on the bright side, I'm the only one who catch those kind of bugs, that Safari only bugs, quote unquote.
Yeah. Remember back when we made the multi-thread? And then we
Mm,
realized Safari doesn't allow you to create threads within threads. And then we
mhm,
just effectively released a patch that like broke everything for people who use
mhm.
Safari.
Yes, yes, totally.
And we have to
See,
hot patch one of the thread manager into the UI thread just so we could get like the 1% of people that uses Optimizer on Safari to work.
see, that's what happened when you're not using
Unfortunately, it's
Safari.
probably more than 1%.
You have the statistic.
Wait, I probably do have this thing. I just don't look at the Google Analytics at all anymore.
And also, don't even think about native Go.
Native Go. But that'll be
Maybe
much
Native
come
Go.
on,
faster.
because well,
Someone's
it,
already
it
looked at
might
the
be.
code.
Oh yeah, someone
Oh,
someone has a cursory glance at their GitHub and they've evaluated that it will be 100% faster or 100 times
no,
faster.
no,
Some
100
bollocks.
times faster. Like, bloody hell, dude, you cannot get that much from vectorization.
But hey, I mean, if that's what you think, then please send us an MR. Maintain that code because I sure as fuck ain't. Oh, I upgraded Google Analytics to GA4. Now I don't know where anything is.
Rip, ripperoni, ripperoni.
Where is it? So it's in no, this is in the report section, right? Or is it the exploration section? User in the last 30 minutes, 113.
Eh,
We've averaged
what?
about 4,000 users a day.
And if
4,000?
we had those
Damn.
in the buddy Discord, then you'd have Nitro. You can get your custom link.
Well, okay, but the issue is that if we do become a community server, we're gonna have to get rid of the not safe for work channel. Is that really worth the cost?
Oh,
Oh,
See that hit hard?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. Engagement demographics? Is it in demographics? No, it's in tech overview.
so many, so
They
many tabs.
continue to make this ridiculously ridiculous to use.
As
Let's
per
see.
usual.
So
It,
desktop user be 65%, mobile user 32%, tablet user
mm,
2%.
tablet users. Huh.
Uh 25 100K use. Wait, it's not the percentage. What the hell? Okay, so desktop being 65% of our user base. Where's the heck browser? There we go. Browser. Let's see. So Chrome is at 65%. Wait, these are not correct numbers. Wait,
Why they add up to 200?
These add up significantly higher than 200.
Okay.
What the hell are these numbers?
Is it a total count or some, or total session counts or some?
So okay, so engaged sessions being 100K, that's an easy percent. So Chrome seems to be 66%. Safari is like 7%. Wait, no, these doesn't add up to 100 either.
Oh no, we've triggered
What?
Van to start bloody mass posting IACA pictures.
Oh no.
Rip.
They made the assumption based on GC sim, which is super misleading because that's written in Go, which was originally made for native. It's been compiled to WASM. Yeah, and also, I mean, no offense to SRL, but man's not a good programmer.
Ooh, just calling him out there.
I say no offense, but I think I intend I said that with
Didn't-
every intent to offend.
I mean, isn't that how every sentence that starts with no offense but?
Yeah, I'm not a racist, but super racist comment right afterwards.
I don't mean to offend, but this is going to offend you.
But I mean, like I think SRL is like kind of a weird like counter example where he's not like a pure programmer. He comes from like I think a financial background, and he just wanted to get something done that no one could get no one has done before, and he's taking the project so bloody far. Like I respect the hell out of the guy, but I have some reservation and disagreement on his methodology and all of his architecture.
Well,
And I think he fundamentally agreed with a lot of my criticism as well when I discussed this with him.
Well, time to
So
take
this
over
is,
the project and then, fold it in to go.
I
Yeah.
can't. Well, the issue is a lot of his philosophy is just not going to be carried over.
well,
Like,
I mean, they'll code you right in 5 minutes, and they'll code you right that will last you months. And they are totally different codes most of the time.
yeah,
Even though like the result is much the same, in the long run, usually it's not.
yeah. It's not interlopable at all. But also like just in terms of the base design philosophy, there's entirely too much conflict.
Mhm.
Like there's no way we will ever have something that's something like a Monte Carlo simulation in the optimizer. Are we discussing Toothless? No, we're talking about SRL, or rather, I'm shitting on SRL. These guys are trying to hold me back, but I'm picking a fight here.
Oh, I mean, I haven't looked at the Tubeless branch, both PRs just yet. I'm probably not gonna have a lot of time until at least until the middle of the next month.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Toothless has entered our community at a relatively awkward time. Currently, the person that could verify his math, I mean, I could go through his math as well, but like I just don't have the time, and so I don't have the intimate knowledge of the build the optimizer engine anymore because I delegated all of that to Lantura, which is not good. But like optimizer has become such a like massive monolithic software that like there's no way I could fit like all its inner workings to one person. So this is why we have to like delegate a lot of the expertise. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, if that person with expertise become incessantly busy or incessantly addicted to
Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring, then that creates a massive gap. So
Well,
in this case, is the first point. Ventura's real life has prevented him from verifying all that juicy math. Well,
well,
his code might work, but this it's different from seemingly working versus proving the math. And I don't think we'll do him the justice if we don't at least try to prove his math, or at least make it work in a way that aligns with our optimizer design philosophy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and the issue is that proving that it works is kind of like saying that it works is kind of like trying to prove a negative. Yeah, it will only present to you what works, but it doesn't. But you wouldn't know 100% that it's giving you the best of what works.
yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It got cut
Are
off
you,
at the right time, huh?
mm,
Oh,
I think you agree with everything I say. And if you don't agree with everything I say, then it doesn't
probably.
matter. You agree with everything I say.
Yes, yes, probably. Definitely, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm perfectly fine with people on at least in our community using it, only with the understanding that this isn't officially like an optimizer product. So it's
Well, then,
we'll try to. I think like fundamentally, it's not a bad idea. That there are some known caveats. It being a strictly greedy comparison, which
yeah,
it's just inherently part of the design.
yeah,
But like other than that, I think it's something that we'll probably include in the optimizer under like the TC mode or something. It's just that we both of us are so extraordinarily busy that we haven't gotten to it, and
yeah,
we're trying to adhere to like such a arbitrarily high standard of care with the optimizer that it's prohibitively difficult for him to just
yeah,
merge his code in outright.
yeah. I mean, if we don't care, we can probably just merge like ages ago and just like, yeah, if something came out, I would just ask him.
I don't like doing that. I mean I
Oh, I
like
mean, I
I'm fine with doing that in within the group, but like not within
no,
not
no,
with
no,
the
me neither. I'm just saying.
yeah.
And also the Branch and Brown thing too. It's
Venture
gonna,
bound is actually like I think a revolutionary step towards the optimization because it not only does it seem to be the correct solution to if not brute force then what problem question, but I think it also provides a bit of an insight into some of the other possibility we could do with the optimizer.
yeah. And speaking of it, it is also like funny when you said that the optimizer or the engine is very monolithic, when actually it is designed to be very modular. Because like when you just drop this, I say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna clear the way, like I'm gonna clear a single class for him, and he can just edit that class to make everything work, and it would fit very nicely, if
Oh,
not for
okay,
the fact that he wants
but
to
yeah,
cache
but okay,
everything.
but those two descriptions aren't mutually exclusive, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we've designed a really extremely flexible modular system, but we also it's also hard for just one of us to know what's happening to the entirety of the system.
yeah, fair is fair. Fair is fair.
It just makes it so that if I make changes to the UI, generally speaking, engine won't break, or if I just make changes to one module, generally the rest of the system won't break down. And
Yeah.
that's because we're good programmers. Okay,
Cool.
okay, I
Just
take that
patting
back.
yourself on the back there.
Okay.
That's just because we rewrote the system like 7 times.
Well, if you count the rewrite within the rewrite, maybe more.
Okay, we officially rewrote the system like 7 times. I mean, what we're in like what major version 8 point something now?
Yeah.
So that's at least 7 rewrites.
Hmm.
And I've been
Well,
using the toothless version a little bit and trying to find potential upgrades. And I think that initial paper he did made it more complicated than it needed to be.
Oh,
Like I
I
can't say
think
that I understand the math he was going into, but when you get a grasp on the graph and how he's displaying the upgrade possibilities on the artifact, it just makes sense.
I think a lot of people just need that visual feedback, and his
Yeah.
paper didn't really provide that at all.
And when you see the graph and the possibility where the different substats will roll and then how much that'll affect your optimization target, it's like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. You know, this one is going to have its main stat affect a lot of the damage potential, so it's going to be an upgrade regardless. And then it's got 3 great stats and 1 dead stat, and you can see the overlap of the 3 great stats will give you a higher probability. And then the 1 dead stat, if it rolls all in that, you can see where that lands on the graph, and it's like, well, yeah, all of this makes perfect sense. But it's hard to
well.
visualize that yourself when just staring at a new artifact, whereas the way he's done it in the graph makes it perfectly clear.
Yeah, but to give the man's credit, he did a pretty good job, especially on the visualization part.
Yeah, no, that's like I think like if he didn't have those graphs in the first place, no one would understand what the hell is happening.
Imagine you get a number 0.627 and have to figure out what it means.
Yeah. Be looking forward to him allowing to scan over many characters and making an overall potential artifact usefulness ranking. Ugh,
Oh dear, that's a
that's
computational nightmare.
this sounds like a computational nightmare.
Like, yeah, just solve 3 stat for me while you're at it.
I don't think it'll be too hard. Through the exact mathematics of it will be more art than science. That
Yeah.
sounds like blasphemy to me. That's just basically saying you guys just do you guys just do the magic because the magic is science.
Yeah, with your WAN.
Now it would just be the same numbers we have. Okay, but like that's
What?
I think how do I say it? I think you're extrapolating the idea correctly, but you're not extrapolating the scale of the idea correctly.
Oh, well.
I understand this will be like a natural progression. People want to just get everything fucking optimized because a click of a button, but like I fundamentally don't want that. I don't like the idea of like clicking like one button to like optimize multiple characters, assuming you have everything set up or something. Because like I think I think there's too many assumption there that people are a button like that would be people willingly give away a lot of their control over what they want.
I mean, it's the
And
same. It's the same as the one where they always ask for like, yeah, can we optimize the entire team?
yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
something I just don't want to do.
yeah.
But also
And
because I want to discourage a lot of optimizer user have been using the whole optimizer told me sort of thing, as if the optimizer is some sort of magical genie that gives you insight over your build, when it should be the end user it's just a calculator. It's not magical at all, right? So like it's like saying my calculator told me this magical number instead of you saying, oh, I input the numbers and then you gave me a result that I expected. So it's getting to the point where the end user there's so much black boxery and so much inherent perception of magic that the end user doesn't understand that it's a basic input output system, and for more of the system to be abstracted away is probably not a good idea.
yeah,
At the very least, it can allow you to calculate the score of all characters and take the highest value for artifact and display combined rankings that way. Yeah,
well,
no, I do not want to do that.
I mean,
Even if he implements a mechanic like that, it'll probably never end up in the general Go system. Simply because it's abstracting away. You're basically converting 2 or 3 very meaningful number into one arbitrary number. And once you look at these arbitrary number, you cease to understand what that number means.
yeah, that's the one philosophy of Go that most definitely won't budge, unfortunately. Like, if you get a number, can you understand it? Can you explain it to somebody? Like, if you cannot, that's probably not gonna be in here.
Yeah.
Like when people start adding one substat with another substat, hoping that somehow it will make sense, it just gets weird.
Yeah, let's not even
To
talk
put it
about
mildly.
credit value because that's just a disgusting metric people who doesn't understand math use. Let's say like people who's trying to like let's just say people who are trying to equate something like artifact roll to damage,
Mhm.
which is something that people have been trying to do. Sure, you kind of correlate. Yes, meaningful rolls that contribute to damage. The more of it, the better. But if you extrapolate it in a way to say how much does one roll contribute to damage, it becomes a non-linear function of I think 4 power of abstraction or something.
Oh,
But
it's
then you want to condense down to one simple number, which okay, you have this number. What does it mean? How is one number better than the other? It's not. It doesn't matter. The number only makes sense in the context of your current build. But if you change your artifact in any way, change any setting in any way, that number no longer valid.
oh. It's like in game of Tetris, you say the T shape is the best because you can do T spin. The game doesn't work like that.
Yep.
I guess in a lot of cases, the number doesn't have to mean anything by itself in a vacuum, but it means something for the entire account in comparison when you compare it to the other characters and the other builds. So you can see
No,
the
it won't.
value in one build in
No.
comparison to another, but not
No,
necessarily
no,
the
no.
value of the build.
Well,
I
then
mean, even
that's
then,
you
it's not.
equate
That's
that's
not
you
how the
equating
number
that all
works.
Genshin characters are the same.
Yeah.
But you
And
already have the
fundamentally, you know
formula
they're
for how
not.
much they scale on different stats because you're calculating that.
Yes, but they don't scale linearly.
Yeah, but that's only a problem if you're trying to see the value of the build in a vacuum. But when you're comparing it to other characters, it doesn't really matter what that number is, as long as it is comparable.
Okay, that's like saying if your bank account has several different currencies, say USD, Australian, Japanese yen, and you just said, oh, which one do I have the most number of? It doesn't matter what their currency exchange is. I just want the one the most value the number of. You're almost always gonna get like a fiat currency that has the lowest value, which is probably yen in that example. But does this mean that your total value of yen is actually the most value?
Not really where I was getting at. Like in that situation,
No,
the
but
the, the value number would be converting all of those to one particular metric. So
but
you wouldn't be
I'm
converting
saying
all of the
okay,
currencies to one particular currency. You'd be converting it to you know another metric of its own to get the value of
but
all of them
I'm
combined.
saying the conversion rate are known. The conversion rate isn't linear in this case. Like I'm
Yeah,
trying to break down like a metaphor here.
but does the
I'm saying
conversion does the non-linear means of the non-linear way that how characters work and how builds work, does that matter in any way?
yes.
Like, sure, if you change one piece of your artifact, the number's going to change because you may have much more of one stat to another, and because it's non-linear, it'll be a completely different result.
Okay,
Now
that
that
is basically you're saying that conversion rate in 1 year is the same as every other year for all your currency. It's like saying, oh, the conversion rate in 1994 is 1 to 10. I guess it'll be the same in 2020.
Well, no, because you'd be looking at all across the same time period. Like using the bank account situation, you'd be comparing like my bank account to your bank account,
Okay,
but I've got more Australian and less Canadian and maybe more Japanese yen, and you've got more Canadian, more US, and almost no Australian. So the combination of all of those would give you a value.
Yeah, that's a weighted average.
In a snapshot of this current timeline and these conversions.
How do I say that? It's not. Okay, how about this thing? I will tell you this. I'm not smart enough to make this kind of calculation. Find me someone smart enough that will write a mathematical paper dumb enough for me to understand, and I will implement it.
Oh no.
Oh, you're out of luck, fam. Hello?
Yeah.
Seems like Toothless is having fun.
Well, what's happening?
He just posted his update on the branch and bound in the dev channel.
Oh, let's see.
Just was a little snippet.
Oh yeah, his branch has a ton of translation errors, eh? That's a relatively easy fix. Well, the time elapsed is definitely wrong. Or did he speed this up? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a very promising prototype, I think. And like
Well,
I think in terms of priority, BNB might actually go before like that artifact set math thing.
no, say that after multi-target.
Say that after multi-target, yeah. That's the big thing that we have to coordinate.
The problem with this kind of approximation is that if the number is not combined linearly,
yeah.
the calculation is gonna drift very quickly.
Well, the good thing about multi-target is that generally speaking, it's just another in general, I guess, it's just another variation of the same formula. So the linear oh well, okay, the first linear abstraction of one formula should be relative. Actually, no. Yeah.
No, it's fine. Like there's a lot of approximation that can be done afterward. The linear approximation is just one of those. It's not a problem we extend it to quadratic approximation. I'm pretty sure there's a few form that fits those.
Yeah. So
sorry.
Well, we'll have to figure it out. Basically, multi-target has to be implemented. So we know that this is at least a short thing. B&B is as a prototype that we're not sure how far we can get with.
Yeah,
So
I mean the idea itself is not particularly hard to grasp. That's why it's a pretty powerful one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, fine. Like okay, this is like the linear form can work this well. What if we do some better form? Can we go further or something like that? But we will see. Because the thing about multi-target is that it is a linear combination of non-linear terms. So the approximation is even a few more steps apart, which is also why Venti is hard to optimize as well. For this branch in particular. Hello?
Yep, I'm listening.
This is weird. Sometimes I feel like I got cut off.
No, it's just people are giving you time to talk, and usually people don't respect you enough to give you enough time to talk.
Yeah, it's a very weird feeling, I know. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, as I said, it's like that's the same problem with Venti DOT is that it's a linear combination, sure, but
Oh, but
of
what's
non-linear formulas.
Oh, let's not even talk about that. Like, I think Dendro is gonna fuck up the system.
Oh, we will see. Depends. Let's see how imaginative you can get.
Yeah. Yeah, because fundamentally it has to be interact with every other element in some meaningful way, or else it wouldn't just be another element, it'd just be another game mechanic.
Yeah.
Either way, we can't talk about this because we don't even know if it's ever going to come or if there's any leaks about it that provide any sort of meaningful value over how it works.
Yeah.
No, we don't know anything.
We don't know anything. We don't look at any leaks.
Yeah.
Now, our plumbing is tight.
Yes. It is very oil proof.
Man, you've gathered at least like 40 butterflies over the last hour. Is my account still suffering the drought?
Yes, yes, it is.
Damn.
Oh, where am I at now?
And dense resin is literally too good and too bad. They should make an expedition just for like these butterfly spines.
Oh, I've got 12 at the moment. It'll keep me out of trouble for a couple of days.
That's only like what, 2 days? 2 days and a half? Actually a bit more. It's actually a bit more.
Yeah, it could be. Depends on if I get lazy and just do single runs of artifact domains. Give me a second.
Where do we farm crystal cores? Well, I think there's like one or two places on the map that like two or three of them spawn at once that are close enough to a teleportation spot. And I think if you farm it often enough, you just kind of inherently knows. I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh, the Dawn Winery. I used to go there, but then I realized how far a lot of the crystal spines are from the teleporter itself. Like you literally have to fall down a cliff, go around the big mansion. Whereas a lot of the other crystal flies should be pretty close to the teleporters. I still don't. I still haven't tried out any of the locations in Inazuma, but I heard there's quite a few places where, um, quite a few places where crystal spines are or crystal cores are easily accessible. I just really wish that like there's more at least more incentive for you to do surface exploration or something, or at least or if they could implement like some sort of like crystal core expeditions, because currently there's like no good expedition. There's like a few Bora ones. I think my account's pretty much filled up on like all the rocks that we're ever gonna need for weapon materials. Oh yeah, loading screen. That's the issue, isn't it? Teleporting isn't worth it. Then continue to go for the down winery one. Yeah, starting from the teleporter near the Statue of Seven near Dawn Winery, all the way down to Dawn. I think you could easily get like 7 or 8 in that one path without a loading screen between.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Had a
Tell your
phone
mom I said
call.
hi.
I don't. Well, it actually wasn't my mum. It was a strange German bloke.
A strange German bloke.
Yeah, he wanted to go out. I
Well,
now have a date.
oh, nice. Got a date.
There we go.
That's got to be one interesting date, that the variety of accents there.
Yeah, definitely. No, he wanted to go to the bloody drag strip. Apparently, it's on. There's a free for all day on today. He's like, come
Oh,
out and we'll carpool and check out big loud cars. I'm like, oh, I guess so.
but I'm doing this thing where I'm streaming a video game and talking about it with my other internet friends.
Yep. Yeah, I
Well,
left that bit out.
I imagine you pretty much keep your your online persona like private from like the rest of your social circle.
What gave you that impression?
The fact that your hobby is so far detached from Genshin, unless you're someone who like put like anime girls on your cars.
Yeah, I draw the line there. Like I do actually have a Ducky Makara. It was purchased
Hmm.
for me. I didn't purchase it myself.
Oh
And I
yeah, okay. Wink,
yeah, yeah,
wink.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, I was taking it around in the car with me for several years. But the
That's
tint is
hilarious.
so dark that no one really noticed.
Mm, that's a
But
shame.
I'm sure there was people that did notice at some point when my car was parked in the work car park and there's this half naked anime girl pillow in it. So no
What's
one
the
knew it was
character
me
of?
though. This is even worse. It was an original character.
Oh, OC. So, damn. So it's not even like a well-known anime girl.
No.
That's I guess 1 point for originality.
See, actually, you would
Uh,
like her. I wonder if I could find a picture.
oh yeah, send me a picture.
Um,
So Lentura and wait, yeah, Lentura and I are going to Anime North, so we might be able to purchase some. Hmm. I mean, I've been to your apartment. I know that you have plenty of capacity.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. But go on.
We could just buy a few for you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ah well. Ah well.
I mean, you have like a queen size bed for only for yourself. I'm sure there's plenty of real estate for Dakimakras.
Yeah. You know the thing I don't like about this is that
Okay, think about it. Maybe there's some Toho ones at the at Anime North. Hmm?
uh,
I
to be
guess
honest,
we gotta set up apart a few $100s, eh?
let me see what I can pull off when the time comes.
Yeah.
But though to be honest, like in all seriousness, I would really want some Toho figurine, like the small figurines.
I'm sure there might be some. I'm just not 100% sure like to what capacity.
Yeah,
I mean, it might be better bang for your buck just to buy it off online.
yeah. Ah, well.
But I honestly don't know. I have not been to Anime North.
Yeah, the thing also is that this kind of thing, if you don't clean or put it in glass, it's gonna catch dust very quickly, which is very annoying.
Oh, then you just need a case. You
Well,
need like a
yes.
big LED display case.
Why, yes. But
I need a big LED display case. Anyways, honestly, I've been collecting too much Legos at home.
I can tell.
Oh, he sent me the picture. Oh,
you can even buy it if you want.
Iron Chef imports. $65 Australian. Oh, actually, yeah, I do like this one. The hair isn't like 10 out of 10. It's more like a 7.2 out of 10. But it's not too bad, honestly. Is there not like a full size picture?
I can't find any because I haven't actually saved any pictures of it on my computer. Uh, at the moment, no.
From the image, it kind of looks disproportionate.
Yeah, I
Like her
think that's
left
just the.
shoulders.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange on that image because of how it's been propped up. The
Yeah,
head
but
looks
like the
too big.
head looks fuck off massive. Yeah, but you know, this is something I wouldn't mind having on my bed. By popular demand, our personal digital assistant. Who is this?
It's just a characterization of like a customer service manager. Oh, like
Yeah.
a CRM. So for customers who buy cars, you know, the system that guides them through the process is called Neko.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
because we're
there's
all a bunch
stickers
of
and
weebs,
everything.
decided to design that.
Damn. Oh wait, so this is is this like the official website for your side gig?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Hmm.
Yeah, I need to see the bottom to get the actual rating.
He's so into it right now.
Just saying. If it's like actually like Office Lady, I imagine there's like stockings under there.
Oh yeah, there is. Hang on, let me see if I can find even just a 2D art of the full version.
Oh my god, I'm on your Facebook page. It's just full of pictures of cars. Where's the waifu? I don't need any of these like automobile pictures. Oh my god, what a ghastly interior.
That's not a full picture, but it's better.
Yeah. And looking a lot more proportionate. Damn, so y'all paid like an artist to render this, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Kind
There's
of.
actually a VTuber rigged model as well.
Oh my goodness, wait a minute. How far does this wrap?
Yeah,
You know,
way
I'm
too
kind of
deep.
curious what you're looking at, and also not at the same time.
I honestly, I've run around with some idea maybe to get like a artist to like make like an optimizer channel or something. I just haven't found well, I haven't had the motivation. But it'd be nice to get like a anime girl mascot for the optimizer.
You can find an artist, give them a design brief, and see what lewd drawings they come up with.
He doesn't even have to be lewd. He just has to. Well, we'll have to. I don't know. The issue is just like I don't want to just like do it by myself, right? Because this is more of a community project. But also, it's kind of weird having like a separate OC character based off of Genshin. I'm pretty sure you'd be a sadist. I'm not into that. Oh, come on. If you're not into sadist, then why are you here with us? The stream is literally called suffering, right? So like, if you're not into suffering, why are you here?
Yeah, that was a misleading stream title in the end, wasn't it? There wasn't
Yeah.
much suffering.
Let me just delete that suffering part. There we go. Retconned.
Never happened. Just like the GTFO category.
Well, either way, I guess I could always find I'm sure I could find someone. Maybe I'll find someone from like the content creator program or something. Give them a commission to make Optimizer Chan.
That way, when you stream, you can have a little VTuber.
Oh God, wait. Maybe I should maybe I should pay for the full VTuber rigging.
Is that tax
That
deductible as well?
there's no way that's not tax deductible. It's the business expense.
As long as you do your own accounts, because that would be a questionable thing.
What
Get
do you
your
mean?
accountant to do it, and like, what is this VTuber rigging?
I don't have an accountant. I have to do my own taxes, okay? You think we could afford to pay an accountant that can barely pay for my welcome moon?
Do it yourself, and then you can afford another Welcome Moon.
Oh my goodness. It's not like we're making like Kichime money here. Even then, I don't actually know how what they spend money on.
I wonder if they just spread it around and buy each other Welcome Moons, or it's hosting, maybe? Hosting costs, I guess.
Mm.
I didn't even know they made money. But is their
Oh
Twitch
no,
channel open to donations and all that?
no, they have a Patreon, and their Patreon makes bucks.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see if I can even like do they show their total monthly amount? $360 per month. I would expect like more than that. So that's about like what $5,000 a year or something. But that's only from like their Patreon. I'm sure they have other sources of revenue. Not to mention like one-time donations from other sources. Well, either way, I think we've run on as far as this stream can possibly allow.
Yeah,
Well,
we didn't get too many angry viewers asking about forcing sets to come back.
Yeah, well, I I've run out of ways to diplomatically to tell people to fuck off.
well,
That's for sure. Because like it's never coming back. And I have very good reasons. I'm just sick of repeating them.
Oh, maybe there should be a video that explains it in such a way that we can just link it to them.
You think these people will sit down enough to watch a 2-minute video?
It'll just be that Bugs Bunny picture of going, no.
Nope. Oh man. Anyways, let me see if I could find a channel to raid. We'll slowly close down. Oh, Jay Stern's alive. I mean, I'm sure he hasn't not been alive in the intermission between his Twitch stream, but he's currently live on. Let's see if he's actually doing Genshin content or is he watching food videos.
Watching several ways to make a terrible steak.
I remember that.
Oh, that was bad.
I've watched that video. It wasn't too bad until you get to the smoothie steak part.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, just the thought of that made me sick.
I mean, if you like your bloody if you like your steak, blue rare, then it's just a natural progression.
No,
He's
no,
already
it's not.
pre-chewed for you.
No, take that shit out of here.
He just doesn't have any caramelization. I want
Oh,
well.
tough.
See ya.
See you.
okay, see ya.
All right, raid channel. Start raid.
Send everyone away.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even see how many
Outro.
viewers we had in total.
We have like 6 or something. I'm gonna join their Discord. for a bit, just for
Okay.
the raid. See you.
See ya.